Self-Care Sunday. And for this week's Self-Care Sunday, I wanted to share with you why Keep Kicking It Naturally shares so many videos about self-care. A lot of people, when you think of self-care, we pay a lot of attention to our hair, our skin, our bodies, because growing up, those things were often reflected back to us, especially as young Black African American girls or boys. We've heard derogatory comments from folks inside our community as well as folks outside of our community. And so I just want to say, like, don't feel bad, especially if learning to love your hair has been one of the hardest challenges for you in your journey of self-love, because we all didn't just wake up loving every aspect of ourselves. A lot of this stuff is reflective. You know, we reflect out. So if your mom or your auntie or somebody is saying negative comments when you were younger about don't get your hair wet, it's going to be too nappy. Don't sit out in the sun too long because you're going to get black. Those little comments like that, or oh, you're eating so much, oh, you're not eating enough. Those little things that do tie into our self-esteem. So a lot of times we focus a lot on that outer appearance of self-esteem, where we tie it back to our hair, our skin, and our bodies. And if you are lucky, or if you were lucky enough to have people to pour into you in your inner self as well as your outer self, you know, to be confident in your hair, skin, and body, and also your intelligence, you are caring, and giving you those things as well, and you finding your voice in those things. I know for me, I think for me, I've always been like a rebel, where, you know, I never truly allowed comments to affect me on certain levels. But, you know, once it came to my children, and I'm thinking of an incident, and I'm not going to really share it because it will kind of expose that particular, and I'm just thinking about an incident, you know, where I'm just like, wait, you're not going to reflect that into my little brown girl or my little brown girls. And so for me, the natural hair movement, and especially having younger daughters, I wanted to show them that you can be beautiful with your natural hair, your skin, and in your body, as much as confidence you have in being intelligent, smart, loving, caring, and all of that stuff. So I want a whole person to be happy. And if I just want to do a plug here, if you have not checked out my video on YouTube that's called They Are Watching Us, it is a video that I did back maybe in 2014 or something like that, like right after I had just finished my 1-year natural hair journey. And I just talk about my experience as a preschool teacher and what that meant and what that represented for a couple of the little brown girls that was in my classroom. I don't want you to feel bad if loving your natural hair has been like one of the hardest journeys that you've been on in this self-care journey. I think we all have points where we're struggling, you know, whether it's our hair, whether it's even some of our inner qualities, right? You know, not snapping off on somebody, and protecting your peace. That might be a journey in itself. That's, you know, one of the things that, you know, I just wanted to share with you guys today, because I know I share a lot of videos that are more so targeted towards self-care than natural hair. I do have some things lined up, so I'm going to make sure there's an even balance there, but, you know, I think it's all tied in together. You guys also know that if you haven't looked into my little bio at the top of my page, you'll see that I am also a licensed professional counselor associate. I will be dropping that I'll be dropping that associate probably within the next month. I've already completed tests. I've already done 3,000 clinical hours. So I'm just literally waiting for them to stamp the paper and give me my license, and then I will be fully certified or fully licensed as a professional counselor in Connecticut. The last thing that I wanted to share, I was thinking about Luther Vandross when he was on Oprah, and he talked about how, how we have our nice things, right, that we don't want to bring out until we have the right guests, until we have the perfect party. And he was talking about how he drank, Kool-Aid from like his I think it was Versace glasses or something. It was, it was nice glasses that he had. And he was just saying like, no, I drink Kool-Aid from these. I don't keep my nice things away from myself. And so I think that is the idea of Self-Care Sunday. Do not deprive yourself of nice things. Do not deprive yourself of being nice to yourself. Give yourself a break. Don't be discouraged if your natural hair journey has been one of those hardest to get through. I totally understand. Totally understand. I've had my girl, what were you thinking moments where I felt like, girl, what were you thinking moment, with my hair. But at the same time, it was a growing opportunity for me. And so again, like I say, like what started for me as natural hair, and really thinking about like what I wanted to reflect to my daughters. They were maybe 7 or 8 years old, and I think that's when I decided to relax their hair, and I immediately regretted it, but I kept relaxing it. And then I started seeing like natural hair videos and things like that on, I think AOL at the time. Gosh, I'm dating myself. On AOL, all these natural hair communities and things like that. And I was like, wow, I might can do that. Once they got to the age where they were now starting to be able to care for their hair themselves, and I was trying to, at that 7 and 8 year old, trying to make it easier for myself. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna relax your hair and I'm gonna make it easier so I could just pull it up in ponytails and braids, and I don't have to worry about like trying to comb through it and you crying. And then it got to the point where they didn't want me doing their hair anymore, probably at 11 or 12 or something. And they didn't know what to do with their hair. And I'm like, wow, like this is not okay. Like we don't even understand our hair. So anyway, I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. So like I said, I just wanted to share with you guys why you see Keep Kicking It Naturally, a natural hair page, sharing so many self-care Sunday videos and tips and things, because I think sometimes this is the journey we find ourselves on as we continually love ourselves.